Welcome to Moonlit Journal. Today I wanted to sit down and have a cozy morning with you all and go through the Baum-Kuchen website. If you're not familiar with Baum-Kuchen, they are a studio and store, and I recently have become really interested in Baum-Kuchen because they offer a service called Truly Yours, where you're able to customize your traveler's notebooks. So you send in your notebook, and one of their co-founders, Frido, he has actually been specially trained in Japan to customize notebooks. He was trained with the Superior Labor, I believe. So he basically offers different services on the website. You can get leather pockets sewn on your notebooks. You can add patches, brass plates, embossings. There's a lot of options on here, and it's something I've become really interested in now that I own traveler's notebooks myself. And I would love to customize my notebook. I have a standard olive traveler's notebook that I purchased in Japan. I would love to make it more my own and give it some more personality and character and really make it a space that feels like home to me. And so that's what really interested me in the Truly Yours service by Baum-Kuchen. A little bit of background about Baum-Kuchen that I thought would be nice to share, and why I love the philosophy of this brand in general. I'll just read this little excerpt here. The approach to Baum-Kuchen lifestyle comes from our unique background of German Bauhaus and Japanese wabi-sabi marrying together harmoniously in California. Products we create and curate at our studio are aesthetically beautiful, emotionally and physically durable and functional. And I think that perfectly encapsulates why I'm so drawn to this company and this brand. And I'm not only interested in their Truly Yours, but I also just love all of the products that they offer in their store. It's very high quality stationery and journaling goods, as well as lifestyle goods in general. I thought we could go through their Truly Yours customization options today. So thank you for giving me company as I go through this. I wanted to see what they have available on here and talk through what I would and wouldn't like to get on my traveler's notebook. They have a couple of leather pocket options where you can get leather pockets sewn onto your notebook. And I really like that option. I think it's really useful because traveler's notebooks on their own, they're just plain leather, right? It's essentially a leather rectangle that's folded in half, and they add some strings on it so you can add in whatever accessories you want, or whatever inserts you want. But it's just plain leather on the inside. And so I think a lot of people find these leather pockets really useful to get added to their notebooks because that way it becomes a lot more functional. I've just purchased inserts myself for storing items. So I have this zip pouch, I have the craft folder insert, which is just a large folder. And I have this Butler Werner Sales leather folder insert as well. So I already have a lot of ways for storing papers and ephemera and stickers or whatever I need to store. So I'm not entirely sure if I want to add a pocket on here, mainly because these are some of the pricier options in their Truly Yours service. Not to say that it's not worth it to spend that much on adding this to your notebook, because I do know that the quality of their products and services is very high. There's a lot of craftsmanship involved. You can see here there's also an embossing that says the journey is the destination, which is so beautiful. And it comes with a little card slot. So I think the price is justified. I just don't know if I want to spend that much right now if I already have kind of a storage solution in my notebook. But I might consider this one. I do like how it looks. And I think the black leather would go really well with olive, personally. I like that combination of black and green. So this is an option. They have a smaller option here. I think this is more for the passport size, but I have a standard size. So if at all, I would get the large pocket, or I would get this large vertical pocket, because it seems like this makes it really easy to tuck in items onto the side. Again, I would probably stick to black. And what I like about the leather pockets is it also leaves a stitching line here when they add it to your notebook. And that actually adds a nice little detail on the front of your notebook. It basically leaves this stitch line here on the front that looks really nice. They have this zipper pocket option as well, but this one is $71, so I don't think that's in my budget right now. I would love to get that someday in one of my notebooks, maybe in the future. This example shows it on the inside of the notebook, but I really like when it's on the outside. I think that's really useful at the front of your notebook because you can just add in your pens, or any like supplies that you would need if you're someone who journals on the go. I typically journal at my desk at home, so right now this is not super functional for me, but I think it would be really helpful for anyone who does like cafe journaling or takes their journal to work, for example, and would like to just add in all of their pens on the front cover of their notebook. I guess it could work on the inside as well, but I just like it on the front more. I think this is an example of it on the front, and here too. There's a wallet pocket as well with some card holder slots. I don't take my journal out with me. I just keep it at home, so I don't see any use for that for me personally. But I know a lot of people use their traveler's notebooks as their wallets, so I could see this being really useful. There's this tool pocket that you can add to the front of your notebook, like this. I think that's really useful and it looks cool. I like that. I just don't think I would get it on my notebook because I don't like that it covers more than half of the front cover. Like it covers the majority of your front cover. And I think I would rather get some like decorations and design elements rather than covering it with a leather pocket. So for this one, I don't think I would get this. I do like these pen holders though. It does kind of bother me that there's nowhere to store my pen for this. So I just have to kind of keep it loose or like keep a pen pouch with me. But I think having a pen loop on the side here would be really helpful. So I like this side pen loop. There's also a front pen holder option where it's just placed on the front of your notebook like this. But I would rather leave the front empty for more like decorative elements. These brass rivets are something else that I'm interested in. They're a really small detail. It's just these tiny little rivets, but I think that often these smaller details are what really add to the overall look and feel. It's almost like accessorizing an outfit, right? Like sometimes just adding a gold necklace or a nice bag or some cool shoes really like add personality and character to whatever you're wearing. And I think of these rivets similarly. I think they're really small but really impactful elements to add to the journal. And so I would definitely like to get these on my journal, just on the four corners. And I think they would add some nice sparkle to the front. So next, I see these patch sewing options. I definitely want to add patches to my cover. I don't know how many, it might just be one, but I really like that they offer this service where they sew on the patch onto your notebook rather than, I know like if I were to do it myself, I would probably have to hot glue it because I don't trust myself to sew on a patch neatly. And I don't want to do that. I don't want to risk ruining my leather notebook by adding glue on it. I know a lot of people do that and it works out really well for them, but I think if they offer this service, I would rather just get it professionally done. And I already know that I want to add this TSL patch to my notebook. I purchased this in Japan recently, and so I really like the idea of collecting something during a trip, it having that more sentimental value for me, and kind of adding it to a book that I know I'm going to use for years and years on end. It just adds to the character of this book for me and will make it feel more like home. So I definitely want to add this on here. And I like that the color complements the notebook really well. I intentionally got this olive colored patch because I knew it would go well with this notebook. And I like that there's this small detailing of the yellow outline and the maroon lettering here. I think all of that just goes really well with the olive. And then my Yosegi charm has some maroon-ish squares in there throughout and more yellow tone squares. So all of the colors just tie together really well, I think. So I will ask them to sew on this patch. You can provide your own patches and they will sew that on for you. You don't have to purchase it from Baum-Kuchen specifically. But I do want to see what other patch options they have. They have this Hoover patch, which is their dog. I like this Koyo autumn foliage patch. I think it's really beautiful. Let's see. The Wabi Sabi patch is one that I'm really interested in. I love the concept of Wabi Sabi in general, so I know I want to add that somewhere on my notebook. They offer it as a patch and as an embossing, so I'm still undecided if I want it in the patch form or embossing. But Wabi Sabi is basically the Japanese philosophy that embraces imperfection, impermanence, and incompleteness. And so I think that goes really well with the traveler's notebook philosophy in general, and also with how I view my journaling practice. So this is definitely a nice reminder that I'd love to add onto my notebook cover. And I like that this has some green detailing on it. All of the lettering and the outline of this patch is in green. So again, it'll tie together really well with the olive cover. Another patch I really liked was this fragile patch. This is a BK original design, and I love this design. I've seen it. They have charms of this design. They also do an embossing, and then they do this patch. And I think I've seen it on stickers as well, but I could be remembering that wrong. They offer this patch in two colorways. This is the classic and then the vintage, which is more of like a bright yellow with navy detailing. Of these options, I definitely like the classic one more. But I fear that it would stand out too much against the olive, and I'm just a little nervous because it's also mainly white and I don't want that to get dirty over time. Like I said, I want to use my traveler's notebook forever, for years and years and years to come. So I'm also thinking about what's going to stand the test of time and what's going to age really well. I also worry, like, will I get tired of this design over time? I don't know. So I'm still thinking about it. There's also a lot of like the superior labor patches that they sell. They have some design collaboration patches as well. These are all really colorful for me, and I get scared of color, to be honest. I am not one to have very colorful things. I think something like this I would also get tired of very quickly. I will probably skip on all of these. And same with these patches. They're all just a bit too colorful for me personally. But there's a couple more patches down here that I love. This TSL tiger patch is so cool. I've seen it on a couple other notebooks and items, and it's beautiful. I love tigers. I love that it's like almost like a tattoo style. And my only hesitation with this one is how large it is. I don't like that it takes up over half the length of the notebook. And I want there to kind of be breathing room still on the front cover. I don't want to fill it up completely, and I want to leave space for other design elements too. So I don't think I would get this one, but I do think it's beautiful. This is another patch I really like from TSL. It's their turtle patch, and it has the same like olive tones as my other TSL patch here. So I think it would go really well if I were to use this, and it goes really well with the olive cover. I love the turtle on the front. I love that the lettering here is in yellow. It's just really cool. There's something about this that I'm drawn to. The crane patch is also a favorite of mine. I would love to get this someday, but on a black TN. I think this would go much better with a black notebook than the olive. It would still go with the olive, but I think the blue would kind of clash a little bit. If this had an olive background, I would probably add this to my notebook. But someday when I have a black traveler's notebook, I think I would get this patch on it. I love the way the clouds are designed here. And then the last patch that I'm interested in and thinking about is this crane patch. I love origami paper cranes. I think they always look so aesthetically pleasing. And I also think this color palette would go really well with olive. It's just cream and black. But my only hesitation, again, is that it's so light that it might get dirty over time. So I'm leaning against this one, but I think it's a beautiful option. And as far as patches, I think those are the only ones I'm interested in. So I will think through that a bit more. Another service of theirs that I definitely want to get are their brass plates. So they sew on brass plates onto your notebook cover, or you can just purchase the brass plate and add it onto your elastic band like this. I would want to get a plate sewn onto my cover. I think that's a really nice detail and accessory similar to the rivets that add some visual interest. And I really like this Journey is the Destination plate. I like the shape of it, and I would probably get it sewn on to the bottom right corner of my notebook, like right here. So probably get a plate here, my TSL patch, and maybe a wabi-sabi design here. But I'm still thinking about it. This is cool. They also sew it onto your spine if you want. I didn't realize that. There's this Travel for Life plate, which is more of an oval design. This one's really nice too. I like the font on it. And then there's this BK Journey plate as well. I really like this one. How beautiful. I love the shape of this. Okay, so I think the only thing I didn't go over is embossing, which I am interested in. So their embossings are $20 each. Let's see what designs they have. So, oh, here's the wabi-sabi. I like how that looks. They have the fragile embossing. That's really nice. They have this sakura embossing that I also think is just beautiful. I love the way it's cascading down like that and how it's framed. This one is also beautiful, but I think I would want this on a passport size because of how small it is. Their BK logo, the paper crane. Here's the wabi-sabi really clear. I love that. I think that might be what I go with rather than a patch. That way I have a couple of different elements on the cover. I'll have an embossing, a patch, a brass plate, some rivets. I think that would look really nice. Okay, I think that's everything I wanted to look at today. Thank you so much for giving me company as I went through this process. It was a lot of fun to talk through, and I'm really excited to personalize my notebook a bit more and just give it a little more charm and personality and make it feel more like home. I really want this notebook to serve me well and to feel like a safe and comfortable space for me. And I think, something as simple as adding your own decorations and making it feel a little more lived in, I think can make all the difference with how you interact with and experience your notebooks. So I know this is a luxury and definitely not a need to have, but I think it will really benefit me and bring me a lot of joy, as I've seen that it has for others who also journal and plan using traveler's notebooks. So I'm really glad that they offer this service, and I will definitely keep you updated along the way as I receive my notebook after it's been customized at Baum-Kuchen. So I will follow up with another video once I actually receive it. I wanted to film the process of thinking through it as well, because that is something that I haven't been able to find many videos of on YouTube. And I think it's an equally important part of the process. So next up, I'm going to be finalizing what I'd like to get done to my notebook, kind of drafting that up and sending it to Baum-Kuchen. And hopefully they can do everything that I would like to get done. I just wanted to say again, thank you for being here. Thank you for stopping by Moonlit Journal. And I hope you stick around for the next one. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.